There are lots of reasons to be inspired to start gardening. Our next guest was motivated by fish. Prepare to be charmed. Koi, lots of people have them, lots of people enjoy them, and they were the start of the garden adventure for our friend Beth Hannibus here in Springfield. We say the field, not the heel, right?
Yes.
Thanks to these that you inherited from your mom-in-law, your gardening adventure started.
Yes. We bought this house in 2017, and at the time there was nothing in the backyard. There was a pad for a garage that didn't exist. There was a broken cement picnic table, a carport, and that was it. And one tree. You know, it was a gorgeous tree, but one.
Right.
So we had a wide open palette to start, and I inherited the fish, and I got a company to come and dig me the fish pond, and then also put in the patio, and that was the beginning. That was the first thing that we got done.
And you've incorporated some interesting plant material in here that you don't normally see around a pond. So tell us about what you've got here that keeps them happy.
Sure. So there's a number of plants that, well, this is an actual water plant. It's a variegated leaf iris. A friend gave it to me. And then the curly grass, which most people plant in the ground, but it does really well just sitting in the pond. The same thing with the papyrus. I've not had any luck with the lily pads. The fish rip them out of the pots and they end up in the intake. So I just kind of gave up on lily pads, but I usually will have some of the papyrus, and the curly grass will winter over, the papyrus will die back.
And for anybody interested in koi, all they really need is running water and aerated water,
They need the pumps for the oxygen. In the wintertime, this thing can totally freeze over. They don't eat from November until March. They just hang out in the pond, and they'll be under the ice just hanging out. So it's pretty nice.
It is tranquil to have the running water, isn't it?
It doesn't. We're in town, so it cancels a lot of the ambient noise, and there's plenty of noise,
Right.
Can't control that.
In addition to these beautiful plants in the pond, you've got some beautiful trees surrounding the pond. Tell me about these.
So the trees serve a couple of purposes besides being beautiful. One is that they give some more privacy. They also tend to give the fish some shade, because fish need shade as much as anything, and this tends to be pretty sunny in the late afternoon.
Exactly.
So it keeps the water temperature cooler.
Got it. So you've got magnolia here. That's two of them that are beautiful.
Yeah, they're the little gem variety, so they shouldn't get a whole lot bigger than this. But yeah, they're a really nice one to have here by the pond.
And then your shrubbery here too is also a good anchor for keeping things out of the pond and making a visual fence.
Yes, it does. It makes a visual fence. It kind of, just kind of closes in, and it's just beautiful to look at. And the Japanese maple here is really neat, because the little grandsons have figured out that that's a hiding place for them. So they'll go and get down in there, and and they have a good time down there.
If you can't find them, that's where they are.
That's where they are, exactly.
Well,
exactly.
It's beautiful because you've got different textures and colors that are adding to the greenery here. So it's all green, but it sure is nice shades of green.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
Here's your evidence. Your first beds after the koi pond.
Yes.
So this is your first foray into gardening, and you've done a beautiful job.
Well, thank you.
So tell me what you've done here, because this was a chore.
Yes, it was. So when I first started to dig this garden, I usually would just clear the whole area and then amend it and work it all up, but it was so full of construction debris from when this house was built in 1897. With cast-off rocks and clinkers from the coal fireplaces and all of those kinds of things, that I ended up just clearing the grass and then digging a hole where I wanted the plant to be put. And as time has gone on, I've addressed that, but it was something else. But it turned out great.
Trial by fire.
Yes.
So all of this started with just a single plant, and then you've come back and filled in as the time has allowed. I love the roses that provide a beautiful intro to your beautiful house. It's incredible.
Thanks. So I started actually with the rose bushes because I did the July sale at Lowe's and was able to actually snag some really nice rose bushes. And those were the first thing in here. And then this is a first year for that particular bundle of hollyhocks. They've already bloomed and I cut them back and reseeded. I call them the North Main hollyhocks because a neighbor had them growing and I liked them and I asked to get some seed heads and he said sure. He didn't realize they were hollyhocks or that they were in his yard.
Oh.
So, so I planted those and they are so happy.
Do you like pine straw mulch?
I do like pine straw for one reason, and that is that I can handle a bale of pine straw better than a 40-pound bag of mulch. Last time I had the big bags of mulch, I was unloading my car and I ended up falling out of the back of my car with the mulch on top of me. And I laid in the yard with mulch on me laughing because it was so silly and hoping no one saw me. And then I decided I needed to change to something else. So I've got the pine straw and I like it very well.
It seems to last longer.
I think it does as well, and I like the way it looks.
Right,
so.
Right. You have perennials that you have embraced.
Yeah.
And I love how you filled them in all these different places. This is a bed you made.
Yes, I've dug all of this by hand with a spading fork, and yeah, and a lot, of course, like everybody in Tennessee, I've added tons of amendments,
Yes.
to make the soil happy and to make the plants flourish. So.
And so you've got a variety of bloomers and non-bloomers. So talk to me about what you've got. I love yarrow and needle and threads.
And the yarrow keeps coming back. It needs to be picked through. Which one are you calling the needle and threads?
I call this needle and threads. That's what my grandmother calls it.
I call that cleome.
Yes,
and that comes up from seed, but it will self-seed. So those little seed pods will burst open, and then you have millions of these growing up all everywhere.
So my grandmother always called those needle and threads, and I still do to this day.
Well, I can see why she did.
Exactly. Yeah. So you've got a lot of different things going on here, but they all seem to cohabitate well together.
Well, yeah, that was a happy accident. I just buy what I like, or I find it in a neighbor's yard, or somebody gives me something, or I grow something from a seed. I see a seed and I decide I really like it, and it's just a mishmash. I'm not really concerned with all one color or one shape or anything like that. So yeah.
But hyacinth bean you must love.
I love hyacinth bean, and it loves growing here. So I did have, the first year I did a cardinal flower vine and the moonflowers, and neither one of them were as vigorous or as happy. So I stuck with hyacinth bean, and now it pretty much reseeds itself. So.
And does it do you have it staked behind that, because it looks very.
There are trellises. I bought little trellises to put up there because I wanted to break up all the gray of the fence. It was just big swaths of gray. So
right. You've got some hydrangeas. You've got some beautiful bloomers over here close to it, and your lilies obviously do well here.
Yes, and those were my great-grandmother's day. They're tiger lilies, just the old-fashioned tiger lilies. And so I grew up in Michigan. And I spent many years trying to grow Michigan things down here. And it was very frustrating because we're very different climates and they didn't like it. But those are one thing that would grow. And so I really enjoyed having those to remind me of my great-grandmother and of home.
Absolutely. Yeah. You've done a beautiful job with this. I like the curved path.
Oh, thank you.
And let's move over and see what else you've got growing over here, because you've got multiple beds.
I do. Every time I get one kind of established, I go dig another one, because my husband might say, I'm tired of mowing this corner, can you do something? It's like, absolutely, I can do something.
40 feet of hyacinth bean is pretty impressive.
Thank you.
So you threw a rope down.
Yes. When my grandsons do that, they put the little action figures on them to weight them down, and then they plant the seeds, and they grow on up the vines. And we just leave the little guys on here for fun, and also they like to take them off and play with them when they're here.
It is just stunning. What you've made is another privacy fence for your patio.
Yes.
And it's just incredible. I love it.
Thank you.
I've loved your house.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for having us here and inviting us to your beautiful home. It has been a sensation, and you are fantastic.
Well, thank you. You're welcome.
If you like gardening, you'll want to subscribe to our channel. Home gardening tips, tips from growers, and lots of plants. Until next time.